Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Monica. I'm a tarot reader and astrologer based in Australia. And today I'm doing a practice reading, I guess tarot in practice. It's a personal reading, however, I certainly welcome you to join in and do this reading for yourselves when you've got a moment or two. It's a very simple 5-card reading. So the impetus for this reading came about because it's a new year, we're right at the very beginning, and most of us will have hopefully some plans for the year ahead, some dreams, some goals. It's the time when you think about all the things you want to do and achieve, and perhaps for some people like me, my list is much longer than realistically I could actually achieve in a year, but that's okay. I don't mind that. But amongst all of this planning and thinking about, the coming year and all the things we're going to do, I also think it's important to take time to look after ourselves. And so this reading is focused on self-care for 2025. And it's a very simple 5-card reading. I actually wrote it down in my notebook. We're going to draw 1 card each for the 4 spheres of our lives: the mental, the physical, emotional, and spiritual, and then a 5th card to bind it all together. So basically how I'm going to lay out the spread is a little bit similar to what you can see here. So I've got 1st card for physical, 2nd card mental, 3rd card emotional, and 4th card spiritual. And then the 5th card in the middle sort of ties it all together. It's like the main focus card across all aspects of my life. And the question that we're looking at is what I need to do in order to look after myself in each of those 4 realms. All right. You can think about it in the realms of earth for the physical, air for mental, water for emotions, and for spiritual, we've got fire. Okay, so I might just, I'll leave this up here for myself to give me a bit of guidance as I'm doing this reading. And because this is a very personal reading for me, I'm using the Forager's Daughter Tarot, just a recently acquired deck of mine. I featured it in my last video, looking at the decks that I obtained in 2024. I absolutely love this deck, but it is, well, at least for me, it carries the energy of a personal reading deck, okay? So I believe this is called the Afterlight Edition. It's not written anywhere. Yeah, the Afterlight Edition by Jessica Leigh Howard. So without much ado, I'm going to take some time, connect with Spirit, shuffle the cards, and then we shall get into the reading. Okay, let's cut. Okay. So I'm gonna have a drink of tea first. So what I need to do in order to look after myself. 1st card, physically, the Hermit. Oh, okay. Obviously, solitude affects me physically, and that's true. And it does impact my well-being and state of mind. I'm not sure if I'm an introvert completely. I do like being around other people, with the disclaimer that those other people have got to be on the same wavelength. So that kind of discredits most of the people out there when you're out and about. But anyway, so first card, what I need to do in order to look after myself physically. We've got the Hermit. Now, there's actually something else in this card that gives me a really big clue that will impact on my physical health. And that is this snail here, which is a very slow-moving insect or animal. I'm not sure if it's an insect or an animal. But technicalities aside, it's a slow pace. I need to take it slow. And I've been thinking about that not every day, but it's been at the forefront of my mind because I am in my mid-40s now. I'm 45, and I certainly feel the shift. Okay, and what I mean by that is basically across the board, my body is telling me to slow down. It's time to take it slow. It's not time to go out there and rush and do a million things all at once. That really, really upsets me on every level, basically. And I think it's saying that, you know, taking it slow is very positive for my overall health, right? I'm in a different stage of life. I guess my body in a way is preparing me for the crone years, the menopause years later down the track. And from what I can see or read is that, yes, on one hand, it's a debilitating thing to happen to women, but really it's actually Western women for the most part. You know, Asian countries and in a lot of European countries even, there's nowhere near the same level of impacts. And I think they're to do with diet, alcohol intake, lots of those sort of lifestyle factors. But anyway, I'm kind of digressing a bit. So basically, to look after myself physically, I need to spend some time on my own, and I need to take things slowly. That's how I interpret that. So that's card number one. Card number two, what I need to do in order to look after myself mentally. We've got the 10 of Wands. And now that's interesting. The 10 of Wands is a card of carrying too much of a burden. We're carrying too much of a heavy load, taking on too much. I think it's a bit of a warning for me once again to not, you know, carry all these things, and on top of that, the rocks. And that certainly affects me mentally. I actually get headaches when I have too many things on the go and I'm thinking about too many things all at once. Definitely a noticeable mental state, and also it ramps up my anxiety as well. So that's quite interesting. So that's second card, what I need to do in order to look after myself mentally. Third card, what I need to do in order to look after myself emotionally. 3 of Cups. So this is really important in that in the card for emotions, I get a card pertaining to the element of water, which is feelings and emotions, and a positive one of that. So it's telling me that I need to surround myself with positive experiences, with positive group interactions, because the 3 of Cups is a card of happiness and celebration and enjoyment, and it's growth, but it's really positive and emotionally fulfilling and all those sort of things. It's a really wonderful card in the tarot from an emotional perspective. And so it's really saying that I need to surround myself with positive emotional experiences and friendships and things like that. Definitely no negativity, and I know that. And you might think that that's obvious for everyone, but actually it isn't. And I've observed myself as well as other people and even family members get drawn into watching things, especially on social media or YouTube or whatever, that actually at their core are negative, but they don't really perceive it as that. It's kind of like an insidious negativity that sort of creeps in about society and about civilization and about cost of living and about, things are going the wrong way. And of course, you got to be mindful of self-fulfilling prophecies. So anyhow, again, I'm digressing, but emotionally, it's in order to look after myself, the Three of Cups. Interestingly, it's a bit of a countercard to the Hermit, because the Hermit, you're on your own, but with the Three of Cups, you are in a group situation, but you're in a group with like-minded individuals, and it's not a big group. Number 3 is not a big number. I mean, we don't have to take it literally, as in, it's only got to be 2 other friends and myself to make the 3. It's not that literal, but nonetheless, it's not a huge crowd in that sense. It's more like an intimate enjoyment of life and celebration of life with those that are on the same wavelength and that you relate to. And you've got things in common to celebrate. Okay, card number 4, what I need to do in order to look after myself spiritually. Ooh, ingenuity. Okay, so this deck, actually, yes, it does have extra cards, and I haven't taken them out, obviously, which I usually do. So we're going to roll with it as it stands. Ingenuity. Obviously, this is not part of the tarot deck because it's card number 26 is a major arcana card. So spiritually, I kind of need to think outside the box. I need to use wit or cleverness or, be resourceful and rely on my resources to make the most of situations. But this is more about looking after myself spiritually. It's not about getting ahead in life or anything like that. And, the answer is always in the image. It's about looking at the card and reading the card. And so much of tarot just comes down to that basic, but often overlooked and yet crucial point, reading the card. Because we're talking about looking after myself spiritually. What is this clever crow or raven doing? I haven't looked at the book yet. I will look at the book after I have a chat about this card to see what it says, because I actually have no idea. But to me, if we look at the things in this card that are seen, we can see the leaves, we can see this pendant crystal, we can see the tree with the fruits, all these things are seen and obvious, right? But the bird in the card is digging for something that's unseen. It's digging for something that hasn't yet seen the light, that is not obvious. And so spiritually, and that's like kind of like the crux of all spiritual matters, is that they're not obvious. When you have spiritual experience or awakenings or, when you delve into spirituality, it's not obvious, even though it is, but it isn't. It's things that often you can't explain rationally. It's things that are related to the divine, to something otherworldly, not part of the tangible seen world. And it's kind of like telling me that what I need to do is to continue probing and seeking and searching, digging deep for that. That's what I'm getting. You gotta love the tarot. And I'm really loving this deck. I bought it out on purpose. I mean, it called to me, but also because I feel that way about this deck. It's like, it's a deck that's not your standard Rider-Waite Smith. Like, it follows that, but it's certainly not that. And it's not an obvious deck in terms of card meaning sometimes. Or the imagery at least. I want to have a look at what the book says about this ingenuity, card number 26. Hang on. So the book says that this is indeed a crow, and it talks about how it's using this stick with a hooked end as a tool to find worms and grubs within the tree branches. Okay, so it's also talking about using our mind to be creative and find creative solutions, looking at evidences that we've gathered and what our senses telling us, and things like that. So it's about objective reasoning and unbiased action. The keywords are critical thinking, objectivity, innovation, and applied skill. Okay, so that's really interesting. I think I might leave this deck intact actually and leave these cards with it. Anyway, yeah, I'm pretty happy with the reading so far. So finally, the fifth card that sort of ties it all in together. Let me just spread these out a bit to put this card in the middle. And we've got the Ace of Pentacles. Oh, this is lovely. So lovely. Because the Ace of Pentacles is about a whole new start to a journey. And I am there. Now that we've returned to the Whitsundays and I'm settled in my home, and that period of upheaval and uncertainty is over, I can feel this Ace of Pentacles across many aspects of my life, but also and most especially in terms of looking after myself. This year I plan to really put the focus on that, and I already have started in terms of my yoga practice. I'm keeping that up in terms of diet and things like that. No, it's not a New Year's resolution because I don't really do those. In fact, the first week after New Year's was probably even worse than all of December combined in terms of all those things. And I was fine with that because I knew that it wouldn't last, and I knew that I'm certainly committed to looking after myself and doing all those things, but also my spiritual practice above all. Having my own room now, it's been amazing to be able to set up my altar and to spend time doing that. So, and I'll talk about that as the year goes on. So that concludes my 5-year New Year self-care spread. I'm certainly happy with this reading in terms of the information it's given me, and I feel like it is certainly very much on point. And as I said at the beginning of the video, you're welcome to try this reading, and if you find it of value, please post it out there or just let me know how you go with it. As always, thank you so much for watching and for supporting my channel, and until my next video, take care.